Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a magnetic excursion update Saturday, October 4th, 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time, 2025. We've got a small CME headed our way, glancing below on the 7th or the 8th. We also have a major flooding event in the Ukraine, killing many. Buckle up, Buttercup. There's a lot to talk about. Keep calm. It's boom time. The UAH satellite-based temperatures are out for September, and the trend is down, down, down. It has been dropping 0.3 C over the last 2 years. Thank you, Roy Spencer. Orlando weather, heavy rain and storms set to soak the weekend. We're talking flooding rain, isolated rain totals, 4 inches plus possible. That is a lot of moisture. And severe storms possible tonight for West Nebraska and portions of the Midwest. We'll have the full forecast. Quick look at Tornado HQ Live shows 3 severe weather warnings, all of them in Nebraska, except for a special marine warning out in the middle of the Gulf there. And now the full forecast. We've got coastal threats for the east and the Gulf, record warmth for the central U.S. Persistent onshore flow across southeast and portions of the mid-Atlantic will keep the risk of rip currents through the weekend. Rainfall could be locally heavy across Florida. We just showed you that article, which will be linked below, especially along the eastern shoreline. Meanwhile, record warmth for portions of the plains and the Midwest with elevated fire concerns. The wind today was brutal here, as well as the rain and the hail. For the West, a trough will keep the pattern unsettled with wet conditions. As we said, frost and freeze warnings up for many regions, as well as winter storm warnings and watches. We've got red flag warnings for Nebraska, and that must have translated up there from earlier today. The forecast for Archuleta County is 27 degrees. It'll probably go lower than that. Why we don't have a freeze warning is anyone's guess. And that brings us over to the GFS model. Let's take a look at total snowfall. Here is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, next week, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, and Wednesday, October 16th, the 17th, and there you have it. Let's take a look at total accumulated precipitation and see if there's any flooding threats. Sunday, Monday, there is the main flooding threat right near New Orleans. Maybe also up here in North Dakota on Sunday and Monday morning. Other than that, we need the moisture, so good news there. No real flooding threats through the next 10 days. Let's show you the models, MLS, precip, plus frozen, and what you'll glean from that is it's snowing right now in Canada, BC, and Alberta, as well as Idaho, Wyoming, and Montana. Snowing right now, will snow through the night. And Montana's really going to be picking up, and Wyoming picking up the big package. By Monday, October 6th, northern Colorado and the northern Rockies there will be picking up some snow as well. Do tell. Bad news over across the pond. Storm Amy kills 2 in France as powerful winds put the nation on alert. Storm Amy battered northern France on Saturday with powerful winds that left 2 people dead, thousands without power, and prompted authorities to issue orange weather alerts across several departments. And it's even worse in the Ukraine. At least 9 dead in severe weather in Ukraine's Odesa as war rumbles on. More than 350 people have been rescued after the southern Ukrainian city was hit by 2 months of rain in, wait for it, in 7 hours. And you get 4 foot of water, apparently. Bad news coming out from a new paper. The Cascadia megathrust earthquake, you know, the 8.5 or 9 mag we're waiting for, long overdue, could trigger the San Andreas fault and bring devastation to the entire West Coast from Canada all the way to Mexico. Yeah. This bad news indeed. Here is the paper, Unraveling the Dance of Earthquakes. Evidence of partial synchronization of the northern San Andreas Fault and Cascadia megathrust. Now, according to the paper, when the tectonic subduction zone beneath the Pacific Northwest moves, it does so in dramatic fashion. Not only is the ground shaking from a magnitude 9 earthquake incredibly destructive, the event triggers massive tsunamis and landslides to compound the damage. Unfortunately, a new study in the geosphere suggests a really big one could also trigger a major earthquake in California. It's kind of hard to exaggerate what an M9 earthquake would be like in the Pacific Northwest. And so the possibility that the San Andreas earthquake would follow is movie territory. And hopefully, well, it just won't manifest in our time. All the links will be below. Seismic update. No real quakes of note. The 6.0 in Japan was barely felt. I mean, they have infrastructure set for much bigger quakes. The rumbling on the Kamchatka continues with 5.2 activity. And we do have an uptick here in Central America and offshore, a 5.5 in the Pacific Rise. Worldwide volcano news for the 4th of October. Hiroshima, first on the list, an 8,000-foot blast. Semeru to 14,000 feet. Sant'Agito, possible volcanic ash. Reventador, ongoing volcanic ash. Libotobi to 8,000 feet. Hiroshima, done puffing. Kreshininikov to 8,000 foot today. Nevado de Ruiz, volcanic ash detected. Fuego to 15,000 foot. Liwotolo to 7,000. Chivalush to 12,000. Semeru to 14,000. Sant'Agito, no ash. Popo to 20,000. Sabancaya, only steam and gas. Hiroshima, 6,000-foot blast. Sporadic emissions at Reventador, and we've got volcanic ash emissions at Ibu, as well as a 15,000-foot blast at Liwatobi and a 12,000-foot blast at Chivalush, 14,000-foot at Fuego. What a list today. Liwatobi, 15,000-foot blast there. Sangay to 20,000 feet. Dukono to 7,000 feet, wrapping up the list for the day. And that brings us to space weather. Flaring has been decreasing for the last 36 hours, but geomagnetic storming seems to be heating up a little here. And we do have a small CME headed our way. Look at that spike. All right. We do have a small CME headed our way. Let me shrink myself down to size here. And we could see it leaving the sun on the 3rd yesterday. That's that plasma filament. And we may get a glancing blow on the night of the 7th into the morning of the 8th, which could be some fireworks. So make sure you get out and look up. Now, we've shared this before, but I think it's important that you know that aliens are already here on Earth, and they look like gray aliens. Take a look. Scientists discovered the first known animal that doesn't breathe. This is the first animal on Earth proven to have no mitochondrial genome and no way to respirate. Aliens, you say? Well, Lee and I will break it all down in just a few minutes over at Magnetic Reversal News on Rumble. We'll also talk about all of the updates with 3i Atlas and its flyby on Mars, and some of the Mars satellites picking up some images. That's the first data coming out, and it's very poor. So hopefully we'll get some better images than that. And join us as we break it all down. Comet 3i Atlas, Electric Comet 101 class for about 30 minutes, and then we'll talk about alien life, all on our science show, Science Without Consensus. Unfortunately, darn it, I don't have it up on Magnetic Reversal News. It's at Oppenheimer Ranch Project tonight. Well, we'll also put it up on Magnetic Reversal News for all you. That was a boo-boo that I cannot correct in the short period of time. So join us in a few minutes. The links will be below. And that's a boom to knowledge. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe, do all the YouTube things. We love you. Be safe. And we'll see you soon on the wrong channel, but at the right time.